All right, so I want to come on here and talk to you two for a second about my day, about my load today. So today it was um it was a little hectic. It was a little hectic. So I showed you guys the load I had on my back with the Tellurides and the Sorrentos that I picked up in what's the name of that area? That Honda plant over there in dang, I can't think of the name of the area, but anyway, not too far, about an hour away from Atlanta. So I picked the units up. It was 9 units, and I told you I was high and heavy. I was high and heavy. The heavy part, good thing about that, I went through the scale house and they let me go. They let me ride. They green lighted me in the scale house, so that was wonderful. That was a plus. So, but I was still high. I was 14 high, and I do not like riding 14 high. I don't. I ride 14 high with pickup trucks only. That's the only time I'm comfortable riding 14 high is when I have a load of pickups. F-150s, F-250s, Denali's, SUVs, big trucks, big vehicles, and you don't have a choice but to ride 14.1, 14.2, 14.3, and but I still try to keep it at 14 if I can. But anyway, so this particular load I had today coming to Virginia, it was a three-stop Virginia. It was high. I was 14 high. Now I talked to a couple of people. I talked to Az. Az said, just watch out for the low trees, watch out for the low bridges. And I talked to one of my old United Road buddies. I reached out to him. He's always very informative and stuff like that, and always eager to help people. So I reached out to him, and he was like, I said, can I run 14 in Virginia, going to Virginia? And he's like, 13.6. He's like, nope, 13.6. So I'm like, he like, are you loaded already? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm already on the highway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to pull over and unload this whole truck and try to get my height down to 13.6. I'm not doing all that. I'm already loaded. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, well, he sent me a map, and I'm gonna try to see if I can post the map somewhere so other people can get the map as well. It talks about all the legal heights in all of the 50 states. In Virginia, the legal height in Virginia is 13.6 legally. So technically, you're supposed to be 13.6 riding through Virginia. No higher than that, technically. But excuse me. Of course, people ride higher than 13.6. Obviously, in Virginia, like I said today, I was 14 foot high. So the reason why I wanted to make the video is to talk about what happened with me being 14 high, and why it's always a good decision, for the rookies out there to keep your height down. First of all, put a stick on it, put a stick on it, put a stick on it. Always check your height. Check your height. You know what I'm saying? Of course, sometimes you can get comfortable running certain loads to certain areas, and you don't, I've done that before. I've ran without checking my height. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to you. I ran without checking my height a few times. Okay, but I wasn't all that comfortable doing it. I've never gotten comfortable riding without checking my load. I've took out loads without checking my height, but because I got familiar with the truck and trailer, and I kind of knew that I was about 13.6. I knew I was lower than 14. I've never took a load out with 9 cars and didn't check my height. Never done that. I wouldn't recommend that. The loads I'm talking about might have had 7 cars on them. Maybe 8 cars, maybe, some BMWs, some X3s on there, X4s. So I knew my height was, I knew my height. After a while, you're going to kind of be able to eyeball it to a certain degree. But anyway, it's always a good practice, a good habit to check your height every time you load. So anyway, I was 14 high coming to Virginia, right? So sure enough, I was fine on 85, on 85, all the way up 85, all the way till I got into Virginia, whatever. I was fine. 85 was fine. 14 high, all the highways was The bridges was like 15 high and, whatever, 16 high and instead of third. Soon as I got off 85 and I got on this highway called 29 in Virginia, soon as I got off and got on that little small highway, I seen a low bridge, 13.8. That's what the bridge said, 13.8. So I'm like, you gotta be. I'm like, oh, here we go. I ain't even get frustrated because I was expecting it. I'm like, it's no way I'm gonna ride all the way through Virginia at 14 high without, and I gotta get off the main highway to make it to my, and without having to have no issues or whatever. So I was like, I so when I seen it 13.8, I ain't even get frustrated. I was like, it is what it is. I can't back up. I can't make a U-turn. I'm on a highway. Gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta do what you gotta do. And that's why they say car hauling is a thinking man's game. That's why Asmar always say that. Car hauling is not for everybody. It's not. It's not for everybody. It's a thinking man's game, and you have to be able to problem solve being a car hauler. You have to be able to problem solve. You have your problem solving skills are weak, this car hauling may not be for you. Okay? You're gonna be frustrated out there. So I popped my brakes nice and calm because I was ready for it. I was expecting that to happen. I said I'm 14 high. I hope I don't see any 13.8 bridges or 13.6 or 13.9 or whatever. But I said I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna run into something. So I pulled over, found a nice little spot. It was a nice little turning lane. I was able to pull in. I threw a couple of cones out there, threw 2 cones behind me. And I grabbed my height stick, and I went outside, grabbed my gloves, my low, I didn't get my load bar, just my gloves, and I went out there. And I had to adjust my load. Matter of fact, I did grab my load bar because I had to pop the deck number 3. I had to pop it and actually move it forward so I can drop down the deck, drop the deck down a couple notches in the back. And then I pulled it back on. Not pulled it back on, but I backed the car back up, strapped it back down, and I was able to get my height down to 13.8 at that point. And then on the trailer, I got my height down to 13.8 on the trailer. I got my highest point down to 13.8. So the only dilemma with that is, and this is a point of reference here for all the rookies, is that you cannot check the height of your load while your airbags are down, because if you do, you're not getting the actual height of your load. You're gonna miss out on at least an inch, an inch or maybe 2 inches. In some cases, maybe 3 inches. Who knows? So you can't think that you're getting the actual height of your load and your airbags are down. You gotta wait for your airbags to rise up, and then you put a stick on it. Because otherwise, you might think you 14, you might think you 13.9, and once your airbags rise up, it add 2 inches to your load, the height of your load. Now you 14.1. Now you riding around 14.1 thinking you 13.9. And as soon as you hit a bridge, you're gonna be swearing up and down that you was only 13.9. But really you was 14.2. Because your airbags was down when you checked your load. When you put the stick on it, put the height stick on it. So and so now I'm in actually in a hotel because I made all my deliveries. My last 2 stops was STIs, subject to inspection. So that was a good thing. They allowed me to STI it, just drop it off and put the keys in the lockbox. Well, the last stop, it was actually the guy actually checked the cars in for me. So, but I just want to make this video just to kind of I'm in a hotel right now, but I want to make this video just to let the people know that I told y'all earlier I was uncomfortable with the height of my load. I was uncomfortable. I wasn't comfortable riding around with my load at 14 high going to Virginia. And sure enough, I ran into a problem that caused me to have to pull over, adjust my load. I had to let my airbags down to go under the bridge because I wanted to make sure I was under 13.8. I wanted to make sure I was well under 13.8 because I didn't want no issues. And on top of that, I got a little small damage while I was adjusting the car. One of the cars, I opened up the door and a piece of metal scratched the door. And I got to tell Asmar about that before they let him know about it, if they see it. So, another rule of thumb in car hauling, if they don't ask, you don't tell. So, Don't go around volunteering information to people of damages that you caused out there. Don't point nothing out. Let them find it first, and then you say, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's yeah, you know, whatever." You don't have to lie about it after they find it, but you don't have to point it out either. Anyways, the Rookie Car Hall. I'm tired, as you can see. I'm at the hotel. I gotta take a shower, and get ready to pick up this load for tomorrow. That should be going back to Atlanta, and we just happy to be back out here, and we're gonna try to stay humble this time and just run and just work as hard as we can work. All right, take it easy.